Well, I didn't really want to get on here today, but the Lord was pressing on me quite a bit. Oh man. Uh so yeah, I am in my apartment, kind of sick with a cold, and my heater went out. Uh but the Lord is good. And yeah, I've been definitely struggling back and forth, but the joy of the Lord is my strength, right? That's how we get through it. The joy of the Lord. So anyway, uh the Lord wanted me to share my testimony. And so here we go. So let's see. Let's go back. I can remember when I was about 10, and I was kind of exploring sexual desires because puberty was beginning to hit, and um, I can remember a friend of mine. He took us into his room, and that was the first moment where I saw pornography. 10 years old, y'all. 10. And the average age now in America is at least that, and probably below, even below that. Most um, children, especially guys, boys, have seen pornography by that age. It's really sad. Um, but that, seeing that sparked a obsession that would just grow over the years. And I can remember I was um, really not connecting with people around me. It affects everything. It affects the way your mind thinks. It affects your interactions with other people. And then the enemy throws all this shame on there, and um, and the whole thing was completely rooted in a belief that um, just a deep fear of rejection, that I would never be loved by anyone, um, and that these images on a screen and this pleasuring myself was the best I was ever going to get. And of course, those are lies from the pit of hell. And but I didn't realize that pornography was only the symptom, and I was trying to satisfy something that only Jesus could. And uh, so I grew up in the church, and I had a foundation of the written word, which I'm very grateful for. I really am, because His word is life. Um, his word is beautiful. His word, it is a love letter to us. It is the conduit through which He frequently speaks, and an excellent way to get to know Him. Um, and so I was grateful for that upbringing in the Baptist church. Um, but there was something missing, and I didn't know what it was. I always wanted to seek Him, but I just never knew how. I would go to the Word, and I would occasionally feel something, but I didn't understand. I didn't I didn't know some things that I needed to know in order for me to be free. And so I kept going through school, through junior high and high school. Um, and I was just consumed by lust. I didn't understand. I didn't understand where it was coming from, but it was strong. And man, I mean, it wasn't just sexual lust. So I was addicted to video games. I was addicted to acquiring rare plants. You know, if I could just get the next plant, you know, I'd be happy. You know, oh, and I have this plant and nobody else has that plant. Or, you know, if I was playing the video game and I wanted to get to that next trophy, oh, if I just can just unlock the next stage, you know, it was like, I mean, and that's the thing about lust, you know, it's a false trust. It's like rust. It just corrodes things. It corrodes your heart. It doesn't satisfy anything. It just calcifies your heart so that it's no longer flexible like the clay that's supposed to be on the potter's wheel. And so we're not able to really connect with people. There's this callousness. There's this wall between connection, true, genuine connection, and it's so draining. And the thing about lust is what it does is it's basically a love deficit. And when you don't know how much he loves you, when you're not truly aware of that, you look for others to give you that validation. You look for others to give me, or whatever this other thing is. And so you're drawing from all these other people. You're like you're sucking the life out of all these other people because you think that you're in this, because you know that there's this hole, that there's something that's just not, and the more you take and the more you take from other people, it never works. And so you're just sitting there and anyway, so basically this is how I'm living, and I didn't understand this. I didn't have the understanding I have now. But lust it's a false trust. And so fast forward, I get through high school and I get to college, and there was this ministry called Breakaway that was weekly, and there were sermons on campus, and they were wonderful. Ben Stewart, he had so many wonderful things to say, and I just knew there was more though. Like I was so bound by that lust and the shame that the enemy had thrown on me, and I knew there had to be something that I was missing, and so I got into choir there at A&M, Texas A&M. Whoop! Aggies, go Aggies. And I got just connected to a man named Patrick McGinty. And, oh, man, I gotta say, brother, if you're watching this video, your testimony, your character really made me start searching and understanding that there was more to this Jesus thing. And so I just want to say shout out to you if you're watching at some point. So anyway, I meet this man, and man, he just bleeds Jesus. Like Jesus is just, it's like Jesus is coming out of every pore on his body. Like he had more faith in his pinky than I had in my whole body. And I was like, man, this is attractive. Like I want to get to know this guy. You know, like it was like, whoa, we gotta go with this. And so we just started building a friendship, and we started having prayer meetings at this gazebo. Oh man, I could tell you stories about gazebos now. The Lord has really used gazebos. It's such a gathering place. And it's a covering. There's so much in the scriptures about these things. the covering and the gathering of the people. Anyway, so we're having this prayer meetings on the south side of campus at this gazebo, and I can remember there was this moment where I was just eaten up by rejection because I thought this girl in choir liked me, but she said she was just being friendly, and then I was like, oh, like it was like eating me up, and I just could not shake it. And uh, I remember being prayed for, and over the course of the prayer, it was like that knot in my stomach, like the knot in my gut was just completely unwound, and I just felt this like complete and total peace, and my entire body just was like vibrating and flowing with this like electricity. And I was like, what in the world is this? I was like, this is really cool. And I remember when I went back to my dorm, I could not sleep the whole night. I just was sitting up and just talking to God because I had just seen something that I'd never seen before. And uh, I remember this story that was being told of a guy who had broken his leg, and over the course of 3 hours of praying over him, it was like he was completely healed. And so I'd never seen this kind of stuff before. I'm like, wait a second, what? This you're saying the gifts, like the things we see in Acts, are like actually for today? And so I knew this. There is something to this. Wow. And even at this point, I still didn't understand the fullness of relationship with him, but I knew there was more. And I'm a very deep man, like very deep man. Anything I get into, yeah, I go deep. It's how I was made, and I know the enemy used it against me, but this is how the Lord created me. And so I'm just I graduate college, and I'm still seeking, and I find a church that has great community groups, and I'm still struggling with the lust, though. Still struggling with that pornography. And I can remember uh, when I would keep telling the Lord, "Oh, I'm going to stop this. I'm not going to do this anymore. I won't do it." And when you say that, what you're really basically saying is it's a very prideful statement. And I didn't realize, because I didn't understand pride. I didn't understand the implications of pride. I didn't understand how to search the heart, like David talks about in the Psalms. And so, I just kept telling God that I was going to stop. And it kind of grew to the point of, okay, I realize I need help, but I'm still going to try to do this my way. And so, I would try to put filters on my computer, and then I would, try to do the X, Y, and Z and have accountability partners. And, here's the thing, y'all. He also blessed me with an intellect. I have a good mind. And I was really good about figuring out how to get around things. I'm telling you, wow, it was very disheartening, to say the least. Because every barrier that I would put up, I'd find a way around it, because I was still enslaved by lust. And so at this point, that's another thing about anything you're lusting after. It always starts out small, like it started out with pictures, and then it graduated to videos, and then it graduated to custom videos that I was paying thousands of dollars for. And y'all, like, I haven't told this to a lot of people. There's only a handful of people in this world that know this information. But I have no shame anymore, because the Lord freed me of all of this. And I'm telling you, as a man, if you're watching this video, you can be free too. Seriously. And we'll get to that point of the story in a moment. So here I am, still enslaved by lust, and I get to the point to where I can't do this anymore. And I'm trying accountability, and it was great to be in these home groups. They were really really good at helping build some of my parts of my character, and seeing how true godly men carry themselves, because there were some good godly men that I met there. But I still didn't understand the abiding relationship that I was made for. And so I knew that I had to leave, because I felt the Holy Spirit, and I didn't even know it was the Holy Spirit at the time. Because I still didn't understand this third person of the Trinity, the forbidden one, the unknown part of the Godhead. It's so ethereal to me, or intellectual. There wasn't heart connection, and so I just knew that I had to leave, and I really started exploring the more charismatic expressions of Christianity. And so I'm also a researcher, and I love to research things. I love to find new information and acquire new knowledge. It's very intellectually stimulating to me, but it's also part of what I'm created to do. I search things out, and that's Proverbs 25:2. It's the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings to search it out. So anyway, yes, so I was just searching, on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and the Lord kind of guided me to these different teachers that taught me different things about this Holy Spirit, and about these gifts, and then about this bride. Wait, the church is the bride? Wait, what does that mean? And then the Lord just started teaching me stuff about this bridal paradigm, and I started seeing the beauty of God in a way that I'd never seen before, and realizing, wait a second, I can have an abiding relationship where I can hear his voice. Like, we can have conversations. Like, it's not just one word, but he can actually give me information. Like, we can sit here and have ginger tea together. Look, I'm having ginger tea. Wait. Okay, I have no idea how this can. As you can see, I have no experience in video work. Anyway, there's my ginger tea. Anyway, I'm telling you, the Lord is good. Anyway, so where was I? I get sidetracked sometimes. All right, so back to the story. So I'm getting more interested in the Holy Spirit and in his abiding presence. And I realize that he lives in me. Wait a second, we can have conversations. I can learn from him. He can show me things. And what's this thing called prophecy? Like what prophesying to people? And then the Lord connected me with this local group that I'm actually still with, a local church. that I'm actually still with, that called Cornerstone. Shout out to Cornerstone. Y'all are awesome. Cornerstone Christian Fellowship. And so I got the chance to go out with this prayer group that moves in the prophetic. And I even at the church there, that the church is highly prophetic. The group is highly prophetic. And so I started to see the beauty of the prophetic in being able to communicate God's heart to someone, like right when they need it. Just like right when they need it. And it's so beautiful to be a courier, like a mailman, like a courier for his messages. I mean, he could just tell the person, right? He could just straight up tell us individually all we need to know. But no, he will utilize vessels, other people, so that connection is required in order for you to be able to get the full picture. It's so beautiful, the way he orchestrated his body. Anyway, so I get connected to this, and I'm starting to move in the prophetic. Oh yeah, we actually have to back up because I got freed of lust before I connected with this place. My brain is like a pinball machine. Pew, 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 pew. Eventually I get back to the original subject, but I bounce around a bit. So just bear with me. So anyway, so let's rewind. So after I left the church that had the home groups, I knew that there was no way I was going to be able to free myself of lust in my own way. And so I remember this one night where I was reading Matt Chandler's book, To Live is Christ, To Die is Gain. And he was talking about counting everything as loss. And I lost it. I was like, Lord, I can't do this anymore. I need you to free me. Like, I don't want this anymore. And I remember that there was this thought that just welled up in me. Well, actually, it was not a thought. It was like a statement that just welled up in me. And I remember that I spoke these words. And I know that this aligned with the Father's heart. I said, Lord, I want your eyes. Father, I want your eyes, so that when I look at a woman, all I see is your daughter. So that I will never be tempted again. So that even if I go back to the websites that once enslaved me, that once enticed me, that all I will see is your daughters created with your beauty. And well, y'all, I'm telling you, when your heart is right and it is aligned with the heart of God, he moves. I knew nothing about deliverance at the time, nothing about inner healing, nothing about all of that. I'm sitting on my bed, I throw the book down, and I'm telling you, Jesus came into my room. He came into my room. And there was this battering ram. I mean, there was probably some angels there too. I don't know at this point. But it was like this battering ram, like my innermost being just started pushing my body physically. Like I could physically feel my body being like pushed back. And there was this battering ram that was just beating down all of these strongholds in my heart, just completely just beating them down. Boom, boom, one after another. And these demons were coming out of me. Straight up. Like, I was like, you know, as the strongholds are being broken down, it was like stuff was coming out. And I'm telling you, this was before I even knew anything about deliverance or inner healing. But this is what he was doing. He was breaking the strongholds. He was breaking the strongholds, and he was casting out the demons. Lust, masturbation, pornography, shame, anything related to that. And so, I'm telling you, over the course of 3 hours, non-stop, just breaking and breaking and breaking. It was like this battering ram. I mean, I'm getting pushed back in my bed against the headboard. I'm sitting up against my headboard on my bed, and it's just like boom, 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 boom. And by the next morning, I kid you not, I was completely free. Completely free. I'm telling you, y'all, the Lord is good. And I know, first of all, it's part of what he's called me to do is to free others of lust, sexual lust, like he freed me. However, there's also the element of understanding that when you speak something from your heart that aligns with the Father's heart, he is waiting to move. And I know when I told the Father I wanted his eyes to see every woman the way he sees them, y'all, that was the key. That was the key. Now, when I experienced that, I didn't learn about deliverance and inner healing and breaking of strongholds until later, when I started reading Derek Prince. Shout out to Derek Prince. Good man. He knew a lot about the word and a lot about getting rid of demons. Really good stuff. He kind of introduced me to it. And John Eckert as well. His book on deliverance, great book. And James Fent. Both really good books. If you want to know about them, I can just message me and, I can tell you about them. Or, I guess I could just go grab them. Yeah, why not? Let's go on a journey. That is, if I can find it. Let's see. I know it's here somewhere. Yes, organization is not my strength. It might take a moment to find these. Alrighty. Aha! Here we are. The deliverance and... There's got to be a way so y'all can see it right way. The right way. Is it this one? Yep, that's it. John Eckert, Deliverance and Spiritual Warfare Manual. Good stuff, y'all. Good stuff. And I have no idea how to hold this camera so that y'all can actually see it. Because I can tell that's backwards. Alright, well, you'll just have to learn how to read like a mirror, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see, where's the other one? James Fent, where are you? I don't know where the Derek Prince one is either. The Derek Prince one is called They shall cast out demons, I think. thou shalt cast out demons, or something along those lines. Let's see. Well, I know it's here somewhere. Oh, there's Henry Schaefer's. Pastor Henry is also a good one. Henry Schaefer. Where is that? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay, I can't find the other ones for now, but there it is, James Fent. Breaking Chains of Darkness, James Fent. Definitely good. That's a good one, really good one. I don't know if I can find the Derek Prince one. Derek Prince one might be harder to find. Anyway, the point is, deliverance is important. But as inner healing is equally important. So it's good to get the demons cast out, but then you also need to heal the soul wounds that let them in the first place. And if you don't do that, then the demons will most likely come back, because they feed off of trauma. They feed off of wounds that you either inherited or happened in your childhood. So, but that's another teaching. Anyway, so I got delivered of lust in one night. And it was marvelous. I did not know the Lord was capable of such things. I had not really had, since the moment when I was delivered of that rejection, after the prayer meeting back in college, I had not really had a big experience with the Lord. And so it was shortly after that about a year later, that I found Cornerstone and started learning about the prophetic and the beauty of, again, communicating the heart of God to people. And I've definitely fallen in love with that ever since. I'm still there, and it's been great. It's been quite a journey. But I just want to say to the men watching this, and y'all, I know women may watch this too. If you want to be freed of lust, it is the awareness of his love, the true abiding presence of his love, that's going to free you. Because it is his perfect love that casts out fear. And that fear of rejection, or the fear of abandonment, or whatever you're dealing, whatever is the root to your addiction, whatever your addiction is. It could be, it could be nicotine, it could be caffeine, it could be addiction to people's attention. There's so many things that we can latch onto to try and look for for comfort, addiction to making money, or I mean, there's so many different things. But whatever that thing is, uh, the Lord knows that He is the only one that can satisfy, and so He really desires for us to know His love so that we stop going to lesser things. And I would just say, He wants you to be honest. He wants you to be transparent. He's really been talking about transparency. If you look in Revelation, where it talks about the glassy sea, I was having a conversation with the Lord, and I asked Him why is it a glassy sea? What is it about that? And He said it's about transparency. He said that nothing is hidden in heaven. Nothing. Everything is seen. And so then He started talking to me and teaching me about the properties of Ahab, and how he always hid his true nature. He was always afraid of what people thought, and Saul did the same thing. He never really was authentic. He just hid his brokenness, and this is what allowed for Ahab. This is what allowed Jezebel to have power. She would not have had power at all if Ahab had actually stood up for what was right and been a true man of God. And so the thing that happens when we hide ourselves is it really damages relationships, because when you're not being your authentic self, people can get attached to a false you and think that's the you that they like, or that's the you that they're okay with. And then when you finally show your real self, it's like, whoa, that's like, you just betrayed me. Who are you? It completely damages the ability to connect. And the Lord, it also insults the Lord, because the way He created me is not the way He created you. Every single person on this planet has a very unique set of flavors and personality and gifts and talents and gems inside the mine of their hearts. And if we try to compare ourselves, or if we try to say that we're not good enough, or or that we're not good as that person, well, guess what? You weren't created for that particular thing. There are specific things that the Lord gifted you with that you will grow into, or that you are natural at, that will display His beauty and His glory. And we have to understand that each of us are uniquely and fearfully and wonderfully made. And He knit us together, like literally knit, like knit us together in our mother's womb. I mean, what a picture. Like, seriously, it's so beautiful. And once we really start beholding His beauty and understanding how beautifully we were created because we are in His image, it really changes your perspective on things. And y'all, I mean, I still deal with fear, and still deal with doubt and everything human. I mean, I'm human. Who's not? We all deal with these things, and there's different seasons, and you have more of one thing in one season and more of something else in another season. It's there's times and seasons, and we just have to be real and authentic. And y'all, I mean, I did not want to make this video at all. I'm sitting here, blowing my nose every 5 minutes, drinking my ginger tea, and I wanted to be alone, but the Lord was like, film your testimony. I was like, seriously? And He was like, my power will rest on your weakness. And I'm like, okay, Lord. All right, here we go. So anyway, there it is. And I just went 40 minutes. See, that's another thing. I am very long-winded. Yeah, I'm a storyteller, that's for sure. And very into the details. Details. So it's gonna be hard if he wants me to make short things. But this is also the first time I've ever made one of these things. So show yourself grace, Yeah. So if you have enough time to watch this, feel free to do so, but it's entirely up to you. But if you are a man and you're watching this, I would like to help you. I'd like to help you, and I've already helped a handful of men get free of lust, because I truly believe that what the Lord delivers you of, you actually are given a special grace to help others get out of that same bondage you were in. And so I just want to help. I want to help young men, y'all, or even older men. If you're consumed by lust, if you have this addiction to pornography and you haven't been able to get free, I want to help you. And so feel free to reach out to me, because I truly believe that's one of the reasons I was put on this earth, to help other men get free. And I want to help y'all. So just feel free to message me. And so that y'all can be the men you were created to be. So here we go. Let's see, was there anything else? I got plenty of stories, but I guess I'll share them as the Holy Spirit leads, And that's another thing. Just having his abiding presence, y'all. Not only is he hilarious, the Holy Spirit is hilarious. Best sense of humor. I mean, obviously, the Lord created humor. So, but I never realized how funny the Holy Spirit was. I mean, just hilarious. Like the best one-liners. Y'all, just his relationship with him is just, it's so beautiful. You just cannot replicate it anywhere. So all right, well, okay, Holy Spirit said it's time to go. Well, I'll be seeing y'all later, I suppose. Yeah, I like doing accents too. It's fun. I love it. I grew up in choir, and I sang in a lot of different languages. And I can remember, even as a kid, I would make all these different sound effects because I just liked imitating things. Like, oh, I hear a dove outside. Whoo, 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 I see it, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if I could make that sound. And I just have fun with it, and it's something I still do to this day. I just love. I really enjoy imitating. Just seeing if my voice can replicate that particular sound. There's just something that's very fascinating to me about that, and I mean, it's just one of the gifts he's put in me, I guess. And also, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm not gonna be. And that's another thing that I've really, struggled with for a lot of years. And the Lord's helping me through that. Because I am a very passionate man. Like, very deep. And it may be off-putting to some people. So, I'm having to learn how to, still fully be me, and then, but also, be attuned and aware of my surroundings, and how to uh, manage the fire. Yeah, the fire in me. So that's it's been a journey, and I know I've only just begun. So, but all right, really getting off now. Y'all have a good night. You hear? Alrighty. This is the Bugman, singing Bugman, aka Texas Ranger, signing off.